ki khubor ka Batisi TV. Lawan ra ashapi dak Orange Nissan Looms Hope Ho near Fire Brigade Shillong, ringkat bat ka M Crown Hotel Kendailat Shillong, ka Three Olives Restaurant, bala play nakbentaban Shakriya P, hapo ka jingada jong ka Bio Bubble Antivirus Coating, ringkat ka Cosmic Kingdom, ka Jakai Lekai Bapaw ha Shillong, bala yada na ka Bio Bubble Antivirus Coating, bala le da ka Meva Enterprise.
Sashisien pat, ki Paidbah nong song shnong jong ka sor Shillong, pat ha ka jelahi barok kawai, kin sa yok ngobiang ya ka sorbat yang na ki Jingrwai ki ba rendang jong ki dekat ke Shillong Chamber Choir hadin ba unong seng bat unong ilam jong kene ke kenhon uba nil nong kenri ula Pyllait Paidbah ya ka thup Jingrwai Christmas ya ka bala ai kerteng come home Christmas ha ka jinyalang ka balalong ha ka janmet jong ka khat pratarik unok pra arjar arpho Kisur Jingrwai bala thep hakani ka thup Jingrwai kilong ha ka ktin pareng bat kumju ru ka ktin Aramaic ha ka ktin Hebrew ha ka ktin Farsi bat ha ka ktin Urdu bat kumju ru ha ka ktin Khasi nakalyang jong ka Shillong Chamber Choir kala penbena Paidbah bahkan sepelong ya ka digital live concert ha ka arpho artrik uno pra arjar arpho kum shibenta ban yarap penmi pisa ya ka Foundation Genesis
nga dan uwe ubreu uba buram ba wan de ubreu ba shapting belay ukam wan yalap yang visitor yalap wan nalor ni men ngi ema ko pertei ba tang shong isu sha I advise be hinbang utul di omlong bamel utul di bang utul omlong so even di kata banyak tiap hamin met even lek kumta ni super kat sepang tu ka khana jo esok na jinjang uhap song ku kada jinjang uhap elam kada apa kadu ra itu kada hangtar kami so dengaru ngar atau pun angya kan apa wanu ni beri imak udon ko bol jo blai ndai imak udon ko bol jo blai usu ompe sini ngata ngakuslai ya ka wait ni pi ba la shy bin kalabon complications ke and tengah so you gong pendua la menga te ubok ti nga shom let mi ni nga wan ka tang RSC te udwai baru tu poli nampang ir ko te ngaru not ngapre pangai tu hok em i khlum ong ke kon giit ba kilunga te kisong ba ngasi tu hok ngamju buri ngawa pe sini kidoi ki bapa pas pang ni ki ban bor amba ban bam kwa te what you board ne nama ba ani ka ji ban kwa am nama ngapam na do mesti padun mi ngati ngata cisa ngai ngo ibri ki bala ban bam untuk ngadani bahyen kisi bam Argentine sisgi ni ngawo kuble le kam khai nga guptamu pe tabak ngalong kum amtim ade du bru jet bru na ngale lo sim adu takaji pam kwairu ngala sa mai giran tes ngala sa mai to and then it hit me and then I said let's stop it and then I just stopped it ngilala ban chule concert nampai lagi and nimla pun ong ba ni nimlele nimkudro ni struggle ketika pandemic ndai tan kiwai tamba ngaperkat kita jisu ong it's more blessed to give than to receive arang kamdan kita kaji ku abangi ai bangi pedian ke Christmas ketika por ba devan ai te haba ka play kan kala ban ai igini ki khulung asu mulung kamasem jonga perkhat in fact I said we're giving our heart to their heart actually the concert should be saying giving your heart to their heart actually dan ban I don't know lane yang profesional semua don't know jonga yaki nga asu berpak dengan gile ba this is one way filapan ai in ajing im kubiya asomatan ba de ki beri ki betuk pengirap ini baka kamdei tang sha bar kamdei tang sha India brokoi sha national issue lekta. So the spirit is the message is medium eye. But most importantly, kumbaga ji ong yiwe pere ba ni yada dehi nimlong kajing ai igiwe. It's one thing to go to Archie's or whatever and buy a present, you know, without thinking twice. You know, take out 500 rupees, buy a present. That's not Christmas for me. But to be a gift, when long utau jing ai kam tam nang kongi tu gibajan jangi. Igi bajenga te ni lab de na number bisu si ong hai po Facebook na ne kuntai amba itu me kendo man nakasi dia brut man kasi ban ye chucho kata ka Christmas dapat nakata ngong one Christmas haying ma de haying ba either ni mat ka jing sup ane kadal ka jing shirk jing nya ya mai ka jing sosi te kata ka message na.
Officially announcing that our Christmas album entitled Come Home Christmas is now officially available worldwide on major streaming platforms like Spotify, Amazon Music, Google, as well as Apple Music for people to listen to, and also today will be the unveiling of the physical copy of the album, which will be available exclusively just for our friends and fans in Shillong, and of course will be distributed around the country through the Cumin app, which belongs to the Taj Hotels. So more about that as we move along. So here we have with us, before I speak about the album, or rather I wouldn't speak about the album, I'd leave that to Uncle Neil, because it was his concept that brought about this revelation of Come Home Christmas, and it's a revelation that is actually taking a lot of the media and the press nationwide by surprise, because one thing we wanted to do was not to do the usual Christmas album.
The other thing is you see, a lot of people, even in my own place, because they don't know what's happening, they assume this and that, but there's a lot that we have to do to be a musician, a busy musician. So one of the things I've done, which is also going to be released in Pinar, is we've taken folk songs that are dying out, that only the older people know, that are not being written out. So we've taken them all to these most remote parts of the Jayantia Hills and recorded them, and I hear it and then I write it, and you're going to hear it Shillong Jingrwai style, and a whole album of Pinar music also.
Is that nobody has CD players anymore, so we decided to go with a flash drive, and here's, well, it's one thing to go digital, but it's one thing to have a piece of the Shillong Jingrwai with you.
It has been one of my most exciting projects that I've done, because for once I have not been told what to do. Many times when you are under, a producer or somebody, and they say, do this, take this out, do this out. So that's one aspect, and the other thing is, it's the music of Christmas that I love so much, and then to get this revelation of using Middle Eastern languages was something that I said, no, I must search the YouTube first and see. Most probably people are doing it, but with the little bit of time I had, there didn't seem to be, there might be one song here and there, but it didn't seem to be an entire album of somebody doing this. So to make it very easy for people to understand, the music is about, it's 8 songs, and so to give it a kind of a theme or a thread running right through, we have used the Messiah from Handel, and maybe the purists, people who love only classical music, will want to beat me up, as I say. But I have dared to, he wrote that, 500 years ago, and now we're in 2020, so there's no harm in re-looking at it in a different way. And one of the ways we've done it is, so with every song, there is always a reference to the Messiah, whether it's a small chunk or whether it's a big reference. And in some cases, the Messiah, which was written in English, has also been replaced by Hebrew or Aramaic, and we've also used other Eastern languages like Farsi and modern Aramaic and even Urdu, because we're going back to the ancient world, and although Urdu is considered in India, more towards India, but then I feel that it is much more applicable for that period. So thereby the usage and the sheer torture I put the choir through by learning all these languages. And it just seemed to, so far, people seem to have had very good responses, especially of late. I cannot take credit to myself. People say, he's the guy behind it and he did this. And, it's like a movie. You watch a movie. I'm sure Tom Cruise didn't do the lighting, he didn't do the backdrops, he didn't do the post-production and the pre-production, and yet he gets all the money and the biggest chunk, and then everybody thinks it's Tom Cruise, So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm not Tom Cruise. By the way, I'm Neil Longkabri, and I first give glory to God. This is always my signature. Whenever you want me to sign spiritually, it's glory to God, and we sing that often as in our songs. Whenever we go, even go to the mountain, it's about giving glory to God. And in doing that, I've seen so much blessing. And I'll give you an example of this. We were looking for an idea to release our first song, and like anything new, we were thinking, what do we do? Should we release this one or this one? This is too slow or too sad. But then I decided on We the Kings, and of course some clever lady, who thinks she knows the Bible, said we got it wrong. It's We Three Kings. Like, right? How predictable can you be? We've all got it wrong. It never said we. It didn't even mention kings. It says we. It mentions the Magi's or the wise men, but it mentioned three gifts. But talk about presumptions, and as the psalmist says, "Oh Lord, save me from presumptuous sins." And I think this is one of the things that I do. I challenge what has been there all the time. We all be going to be three kings. We think, how on earth is three people on three camels traveling for whatever 1 year or 1 year and a half? And another thing is, when they came there, they were not there with the shepherds. That's the usual picture you have of Christmas. The shepherds came when he was immediately born. But they came about approximately when he was about 2 or below, which is why when you read the story, that's why I know the story. Before I made this album, I had the decency to read the story. It's there for everyone to read. But what happens is, the sad thing is that Christmas has now become, apart from being so commercial, has become one big, collection of love songs. I mean, leave that for Valentine's night, darling. Last Christmas you gave me my heart, but you took it away, or something like that. I remember, I gave you my heart. Well, as long as he gave it to Christ, that's all right. But then he said, but then you took, well, but then he took it, well, he definitely didn't give it to Christ, because he wouldn't have done that. So that's why this is a subject that if people want to bring me into an interview, I can talk, because I know everything, right from for example, the Zoroastrians, which I believe 99% 0.9 are the reason, are the people who came to see the Christ, and thereby we sang in Farsi, and we took all this trouble, and so this amazing thing happened. Now I'm coming back. I'm always going round and round. The amazing thing that happened was that I said, we need a sound artist, you know, and we had one in mind, but he was still busy. I said, no, we are running short of time. We need it out. We need it out tomorrow. You know, I'm a person who wants everything done yesterday. So I said, I just went to Google. I saw this lady, and it just said there, judges moved to tears, blah blah blah, and I saw Ilana, and it was so heart-moving. Everyone should see this video. It's her own life story. We talk in drafts, you know, first draft, second draft. I would have said the first draft would have been ready at least 2 months before, but because I suddenly went crazy with this idea of these languages, that really took the time. And you will not believe it that we even managed to find an old man in Switzerland who still speaks ancient Aramaic, which is a dead language. I mean, very few people on earth still speak it. And he was so kind, and he translated this particular verse, and of course you've seen it on YouTube now. But thanks to him, and you know, so it's been all of this. So there was a lot of time taken, and then we had another lady from London who translated into Farsi, you know, for us. So we had to go all over from different places, you know, and then our musicians in Europe we had to work with, and then musicians from the south of India. So to put it all together has been a very global effort, actually. But thankfully enough, I have a very cohesive group, and that's why I want to come back to this point. It is not me alone. I just had these ideas. I've had to learn a lot in this, and I think to be able to be teachable is one of the greatest things that we as human beings can achieve in life. And I think that's very important. We have to learn till the day we leave this earth.
It was a challenge in the sense that these are languages that we've never heard anyone speak, and especially ancient Aramaic, the very language that Jesus spoke in. So yeah, for me, and I think it would be the same for everyone, it was a wonderful experience. And we really enjoyed learning it. There were some songs that were really challenging, and we decided to really take it all up, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. I must say it was a wonderful experience.
I made a research with Google, and I fell in love with this music. It is unbelievable. It touched my heart. If the music is not very touching to me, to my spirit, I can't draw. I can draw only when I feel it inside my heart. All the message, all the theme of this group, I really fell in love with it. I told them now, before we started, I told them that I made this movie in one shot. It came inside from me, from my soul. And it was unbelievable. This is connection. You know, I get many offers to make clips and all over the world, but this was a miracle to me.